This is Ann Kennedy of Beyond Inc., and I'm standing here at Search Engine Strategies 2008 in Toronto, Canada. And I'm pleased to be talking to Candice Faktor of Toronto.com. And Candice, it's really good to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
We just had a session about local search and local SEO, and I wondered if you could tell me a little bit about Toronto.com. You were telling me that you started the division for Torstar Digital, which includes the Toronto Star and a bunch of other media properties, but actually Toronto.com itself is 10 years old. So can you give us a little history of what you've learned in 10 years?
Absolutely. So Toronto.com is a pioneer in the local search space, and I think we've learned a tremendous amount. Now, I have to profess I have not been there for the past 10 years, but I have been with the company for just over 4.5 years and did start the digital division that houses Toronto.com with a small group of people. So what have we learned at Toronto.com? I think search has just changed so dramatically since then. You know, back in the days, search was really about coming to Toronto.com and finding what you were looking for. Today, we play in an ecosystem of search where a lot of people still come to Toronto.com, but a lot of people actually use major search engines, and we're a really good content provider for these major search engines. So the whole ecosystem has built out. There's so much more, so many more players in search, and we really provide a new value proposition to businesses over and above just the people coming to us looking for information. We actually help them with their SEO by having a really rich content profile on Toronto.com. So that would be a couple changes that's really shifted.
You actually have an in-house editorial staff that you keep trained in the latest SEO, and what are the biggest and most important techniques you teach them?
Great question. So one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is just our SEO knowledge in-house. So our marketing manager comes from an SEO background, and we give a lot of training to a lot of different people. The editorial team for certain, but also the account managers, the sales team, we want them all to understand how SEO works. I think the biggest tips for our editorial staff is just helping them understand how important it is to write headlines in an SEO-friendly way, to have very descriptive body text, to make sure that we're linking to the relevant pieces of content around our site as well as within our Torstar family, because we are part of this bigger family where there's newspapers, making sure we have relevant links where it makes sense, and just being aware that how they write things has a huge impact on whether or not things get found. And they've really stepped up to the challenge over the past while.
That's fantastic. And speaking of writers, you have just launched a new site recently that involves user-generated content and inviting people to write. Do you want to talk about that?
I'd love to. We launched a site called ourfaves.com, and this is all user-generated content. It's a sister site to Toronto.com, as we like to call it. And this is all about people sharing and discovering their favorite places in cities. Right now we're in Toronto, but we are expanding across North America. And it's been a really interesting experience learning about how to incent people to create content and to incent the right content. And for us, it's all about quality and all about building a community of people who are really passionate and who really care about the cities and communities they live in, and making them share those pieces of advice.
And what would people write about on ourfaves.com?
Sure. So again, it's an entertainment focus because we feel people really love sharing their entertainment experiences. It's really easy to get them to write about, the best brunch in Toronto, and they're sharing anything from, the best brunch in Toronto to the best tuna sushi in Toronto to it's all favorites. It's all this whole notion that people really want to hear what's great in cities, and favorites is a very powerful way to think about cities. So people share their favorites, and they share content as well as pictures.
Are you able to say where you're going next with Our Faves?
Sure. So in terms of locations, we're launching in Montreal and Vancouver next.
And how will people find it in Montreal and Vancouver?
A combination of things. We really believe in building communities, so I'm super excited to be going out to Vancouver next week to actually have a little get-together for the content creators of Our Faves Vancouver. These are people who love Vancouver and really want to share what they love in the city, and we really believe in building community. So that's definitely one part. We're looking at media partnerships as another way.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, in your presentation, you mentioned the future of search and of local search, and I wondered if you'd recap a little bit of that for us, the opportunities and the challenges that you see coming down the pike, so for our audience.
Absolutely. You know, I'm the first one to say this is a really tough business that we're in, local search, and sort of being the pioneer in the space, and you know, and when I say that, I mean being around for 10 years. There's a lot of challenges we face. You know, some of the challenges I focused on was, you know, servicing the local business market is actually really difficult, especially the way in which we do it, which we think is both an advantage and a disadvantage. What I mean by that is we actually have people, you know, feet on the street, going out to local businesses and really offering a full service offering. So one of the challenges with that is just it's a high cost of sale to do that. Another challenge is that businesses are less especially small businesses in the entertainment space are less sophisticated buyers of search. Another challenge is their budgets are just small. They don't have a lot of money, so they're really focused on ROI, which we totally encourage, but it's a challenge. You know, it's not a national budget that you're dealing with. So that's one area. I think another area is just the tremendous amount of competition in the space. So, you know, everybody's going after local search, the major search engines, and then there's a whole lot of niche new entrants that are coming after it. So it's a pretty tough place to be in. That being said, we see tremendous opportunity in search, and the key areas that we're working on is really improving that search user experience, and really, I wouldn't say we've been a first mover in that space as Toronto.com, but we're definitely adopting a better search experience. We're building self-service channels. These are plans in our future, and we believe mobile is a really big opportunity. We're actually really excited. We have a mobile experience that's going to launch in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're working with a company called Feedmate to do this, and user-generated content. We've launched our faves, and we think there's a lot of value in the complement of editorial content and user-generated content. So we're really excited about those opportunities, and you know, mindful of the challenges as well.
Well, Candice, good luck to you. Good luck to Toronto.com and Our Faves in Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. And thank you so much for being with us. I've been talking to Candice Faktor of Toronto.com.